they did state it was something separate, fun, and extra to do while they were working on things for their universe. Now, on to some of the latest stories. So, Rod Breslau, at Slasher on Twitter, a good guy to follow because, well, I guess it could be a girl, I'm not sure. But Rod, if it's a woman, that's the most legendary name. Also went on to share that Z Huge X, also Daniel Ahmad, shared that he heard the announcements for Apex Legends will come tonight in a Super Bowl ad. Now, if you don't know what the Super Bowl is, you're probably a gamer, but nonetheless, I'm not going to watch the entire Super Bowl just to see, but that's how I'm planning now. But now I kind of want to see if this pans out. Also, more confirmation comes from, if you go to playapex.com, notice where it forwards to an EA website. So I'm guessing that Play Apex will be in the commercial. It's short. It's to test the servers, maybe, but we'll see. Anthem isn't going that great with the servers either. Now, further reporting from Polygon says the worst kept secret in video games right now is Titanfall is getting a free-to-play battle royale game. Oh, they must have credited me in that. Let's see. Wonder where this rumor started. You gave the wrong people credit. First the leak was Jeremy. Can't wait. Thanks to the quartering for breaking story. I don't even bother with mainstream journalists anymore. They all have an agenda. You mean the quartering broke the story? Nice try, Polygon. Well, let's see what they say. They obviously go out of their way to not credit me at all. But again, it's not like it really matters. As you could tell, I'm a little salty. But it is kind of my first big scoop. And it would have been nice to see some journalistic ethics. The worst kept secret in video game right now is that the Battle Royale set in Titanfall universe is going to be announced Monday, which is also the day the game launches. Rod Breslau, the esports journalist, said he by YouTuber The Quartering. Further details were shared by esports consultant Rod Breslau. Breslau said Apex Legends would be coming to PC. And by the way, Rod told me that he specifically told IGN to put that in there. So good looking out. He goes on to say the spinoff won't actually feature any Titan mechs. The first of the two Titanfall games will be running on the modified version of Valve's Source Engine. He also claims microtransactions and loot boxes for cosmetic items and in-game content will be executed similarly to how they're done on Overwatch. It's an interesting time to be bringing out a Battle Royale game. I think we're going to talk about that after this. I just wanted to check to see if there's anything new. Kotaku claims to have heard similar reports from its own sources. Ha! Imagine my shock. Claims that as similar report plays like Titanfall mixed with... That was what I said, you idiots! Holy crap. You lifted this exactly from my video, and then you claimed it was from your own sources. Oh, Schreier! Schreier! Come. Anyway... it goes on to suggest that Respawn had been working on Titanfall 3, but the game, because the game also ran on the modified Source Engine, it was quickly beginning to look outdated by today's standards. He suggests the studio may have decided to switch engines for Titanfall 3, which is releasing the alleged Apex Legends as a stopgap due to development on Titanfall 3 being delayed as a result. That seems to maybe hold up. We don't have anything official on that, but you know, they had said that the Titanfall 3, I think they confirmed last year already that they were working on it, so it's not exactly it's not a scoop of the week that they're working on Titanfall 3. The question was really about, were we going to see it at the end of this year or were we going to see it next year? I guess, additionally, Games Insider Nibble revealed that Play Apex redirects to EA's homepage, and EA trademarked Apex Legends and Project Apex in 2018. So it looks like everything is all coming up Millhouse for the Quartering and the Quartering crew. I want to thank you all, by the way, before I go on here, for panel. If you think that, you know, and that's why they go out of their way to not give anyone any shine, is because they're worried that you, the viewer, will use your precious one subscription on somebody else, or that you might actually like somebody else's content. This has gone on for 20 years on YouTube, and these idiots will never learn. So there's been a lot of discussion around, you know, people clearly from the Titanfall franchise, fans of the franchise, are excited about this. But there's also a lot of pushback from people that are like, ugh, another Battle Royale game. I definitely understand it. I think where this is going to shake out probably is if it isn't unique enough to stand on its own, if it's not truly Titanfall-esque, if it's just kind of like, we're using Titanfall name to sell a Battle Royale, it's not going to do well. The idea that you don't have mechs in it is, to me, totally absurd. Why wouldn't you have mechs in this? That would be like the one thing that made this really unique. I read a lot of the marketing world, we call it a USP, unique selling proposition, meaning what makes your product different than everybody else's. You know, why would anyone buy it, your toilet paper versus somebody else's toilet paper? And to me, just another Battle Royale game isn't exactly a great unique selling proposition because it's not unique. There's already, you know, games like Fortnite and PUBG and things like that that people can play. If it's uniquely Titanfall and has some unique mechanics, it might have a chance. I guess we're going to have to wait tonight. If we can actually get access right away, maybe I'll fill up the coffee pot and maybe we'll stream it a little bit. We'll check it out so I can cover it a little bit more on Monday. But I am very thankful. If you made it to this part in the video, I'm genuinely very excited that we got to share in this scoop together. And I'm thankful to all of you for helping share the video. I hope that you'll do that with this video and that you'll crush that thumbs up button on it. I might actually have 2 videos.
Somehow relate to all these psychos. No, I don't think it says absolutely anything about my personality. This is not one of those lolly porn equals pedophile type situations, because even though I can find myself relating to the twisted minds of all the psychopaths, it doesn't make me a psychopath. Although granted, it does sometimes scare the freaking hell out of me. Let me know in the comments if by the end of this video you can find yourself relating to him as well, because as far as anime analysis, I believe that to be one of my strengths. And also, I feel like it would be sort of comforting confirmation that I'm not absolutely insane and only partially insane. So hey, there's that too. Pretty dope. Laying the groundwork, Aizen is a rather ambitious fellow. For the entirety of his tale up to his villain reveal, he was amassing knowledge and power with his ambitions that this 100-year-long plan would eventually lead him to success in becoming the most powerful being in the universe. It is to be noted that it was during his tenure as a captain of the Soul Society that he went to Las Noches and subjugated Baragan, in turn taking control of the entire Waco Mundo. It was stated that every Hollow will bow their heads to Aizen's absolute rule because Aizen simply has absolutely no fear and no emotional weaknesses. Because the essence of what Hollows are, as it's stated, a normal person will become a whole, but the ones with sane strength. But subconsciously, we understand that music and media is obviously not playing in the world of Bleach, but it's on a different plane of existence, created purely for us viewers to vibe with the goings-on in the story. Aizen destroyed Ichigo's theme, just like he destroyed us, fooling us in the narrative. His reach reaches higher than anyone else's. Now, what originally kept me from loving Aizen as a top-tier shonen villain was I felt like everything he did in the story itself was spectacular as far as antagonists go, but I never feel like we got to know Aizen. All of his layers of deception, he stacked one on top of the other to fool everyone, making himself as perfect as possible, and never let us meet the real person behind all the layers. Because Aizens are like onions. Okay, never mind. Now, one of 2 reasons for that. Either it's because of shallow writing. He was just some unstoppable force, super genius villain. No personality, but, you know, he was an antagonist. He did his job well. Or it was absolutely spectacular character writing, and I just missed it the first time watching through Bleach. And honestly, at this point, I believe it's the latter. So now, we actually understand that the actions of Aizen and how it's not just brute force, but manipulation as well, all the while guising the mask of a different person when he's talking to different people. I feel like we never actually... Aizen. My mom was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer a few years ago, and the doctor said she had no chance. For a bit, it destroyed me, and I changed a lot of my life outlooks and how I treat life. Very, very long story short, a few months later, she made a full recovery, much to the doctor's perplexion. And even though I don't want to get into the mushy details, I never reflected on myself more than during that period of time. I made a bunch of really important life decisions, and I feel like I've become a better, stronger person because of it. Not that I would ever wish something that horrible upon anyone, and I still carry around that emotional burden to this day, but anyone that experiences tough emotional moments comes out different and crafts who they eventually become, for better or for worse. It allows people to become in-tuned into who they really are. An atheist only really knows if he's an atheist if he's in a life and death situation, because if he starts praying to God, he's not genuine. Maybe that was a bad example. I don't know. But it's the emotional downers in life that really teach you about yourself. Will you act selflessly or selfishly? Will you go commit a school shooting, or will you jump in front of the shooter? Now, I realize this seems like a bit serious of a tangent to the topic at hand, being an anime supervillain. But this is a person that every Hollow looked up to because he had no fear and no emotional baggage. His whole life was focused on attaining personality a lot. Now, the thing is, that happens to a lot of people here. It's since they're rewarded for this, it becomes an epidemic, and they're not happy because they no longer know who they are. That's the whole YouTube burnout, and celebrities are people too type things in a nutshell. Aizen is someone in far worse shape than any of that, because his life up until his defeat was without setback. So he completely adhered to the goal-oriented idea of perfection, where he in the process, without realizing, destroyed his internal self. Let me ask you another philosophical question, and that is, what's the purpose of power? If someone's all-powerful but has no one to share that power with, is all that power genuinely meaningless? Is the thirst for power honestly a personal vested interest that can be quenched in solitude? Well, I guess it could be argued, but not really. The person Aizen fooled most, with all of his genuinely brilliant facades, accomplishing as much as possible, as fast as possible, is himself. Now, you may be thinking at this point that this is all speculation on my end, translating my own personal philosophy that everyone should know who they are and genuinely be themselves. That's why in all my videos was stay weird, fam. It's good to be weird. But maybe I'm just translating that onto someone in Aizen's position and show for it, and there's nowhere to go from that point. Which is why Aizen, who retained his composure after his massive superiority complex from that fight, is absolutely epicness in the final arc of Bleach. I have a lot of issues with the final arc altogether. It was not my favorite arc, and I've said that several times, but my favorite part of that arc was undoubtedly Sosuke Aizen, a man that finally understood who he was. I don't really want to get into spoilers, because I know a lot of people have not read that arc, and you never know, Bleach might be getting an anime in like 2045. That would be pretty hype. So with all that said and done, I relate a hell of a lot to Aizen. I think people, especially with online personas that they could tweak to however they want, stray away from being a genuine person, and it's tragic. You've seen the videos I've been uploading. You see that my Naruto video gets the most views, and you see that I'm still tweaking it, shifting around, back and forth, doing whatever I want. Not only that, but I'm not into the whole PC thing to get my video monetized and promoted, because that's just not who I am. Genuinely being yourself is such an important thing to understand in life, and I honestly feel bad for the people that, granted, are doing amazing financially with great reputations, but I feel bad for them if they're not themselves. It'll come to bite them in the ass, and I don't want to be there when that happens. So